So you are looking for a street sport motorcycle. You want something that's fun, lightweight, and cheap to get at the same time that's gonna last you more than your average beginner motorcycle. You're probably looking at something like this R7 right here. It's fun, it's torquey, based on a naked bike, and it's pretty darn comfortable on the daily. But one motorcycle you're probably not thinking of is this Svartpilen right here. The Svart and the Vitpilen platform make a very unique case for themselves as a street sport motorcycle, and we're gonna tell you why, so stay tuned to this episode of Yami Noob. So you guys already know the deal with this R7 right here. It is our beginner bike giveaway motorcycle, Yamaha's brand new offering for this year. They've designed it based on the MT-07 platform. It's got some cool little farkles on there, which we'll talk about in a second. But remember, if you want to win this motorcycle right here, click the links down in the description below. Go to parts.yaminoob.co, get yourself all the gear you need for your ride or some riding gear to keep yourself nice and safe on your motorcycle. Every dollar you spend there is an entry to win this motorcycle right here. But Whitney, give me a little bit of a history lesson on that Svart right there.
So I saw this bike, EICMA 2016, and then I patiently waited like a nerd every year waiting for this bike to come out because I loved how it looked. It looked so futuristic. It was such a eye-pleasing motorcycle to me. And I'm mostly a commuter, so it was like the best of both worlds.
Well, with that being said, why don't we figure out what makes these so similar? Because on paper, the stats are really close, but there are some really key differentiating factors here that kind of make the Svart a better bike than the R7. Now let's do a quick little specs overview on both of these motorcycles before we start talking about some differences you're not considering and one big factor that definitely nobody is thinking of when it comes to both of these motorcycles right here. We'll start with the R7, which is packing the 689cc Yamaha cross-plane twin, putting down 72 horsepower and 49 foot-pounds of torque. They didn't quite get it up to 50. That motorcycle also weighs in at 414 pounds wet and ready to ride. It is a upgraded MT-07, let's call it that. It's wearing some fancy plastic, but underneath the bones are really MT-07 bones. But Whitney, how about this guy right here? Give us the top end on this.
So 690 cc's, we've got 75 horsepower and 53 foot-pounds of torque, and I believe it is about 355 pounds wet and ready to ride.
Phew, boy, that is so much lighter than this thing is,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's making the same amount of power, a little bit more out of this one. One thing you're not considering though, parallel twin, single cylinder engine. You're getting a lot more torque down low out of this motorcycle right here, which for the average city rider, street rider, weekend sport, having fun rider, single cylinder might be the way to go. Maybe it doesn't have the most inspiring engine note out there. One big upside though is this motorcycle comes in at how much money right here, Whitney?
This is, MSRP is 95.
And how much did you buy it for?
85 out the door.
You can get crazy deals all day long on these bikes. Maybe not right now, considering the way that, you know, the world is, but in normal times, you can get yourself some seriously killer deals on these Husqvarnas. I don't know why they're priced so aggressively, but they are so easy to get into, especially when you consider that that is $8,999. And it costs you an extra $200 to put the quick shifter on. And that gives me a nice segue into features. Whitney, give me the features list on this motorcycle.
Let's see, we've got quick shifter up and down. That just came from the factory. I didn't have to add it on for any sort of money. What else? It's got ABS, traction control. It's got a headlight. It's got everything you need.
You've got fully adjustable suspension on here. You have a delicious Magura clutch on here, which if you've never felt a Magura clutch, it actually is worth feeling on a motorcycle. I don't understand why they gave us such a nice clutch on this motorcycle. with the up and down quick shifter. But again, like you said, traction control. This has wheelie control built in. You can disable the rear wheel ABS. It's got so many features, including a Brembo caliper on here. This motorcycle, by comparison, what features does it have? It starts. It's got ABS. I mean, what more do you want, I suppose? You got Yamaha house calipers, which do the job. You do have a nice Brembo master, which you don't have on this motorcycle. You just have a standard master. But the Brembo caliper on this just feels so nice and juicy. And again, that price point, guys, the price point, it's so much bike for the money here. It's crazy to me that this is so cheap, especially when something like my SMCR, which is this, but a supermoto, is $11,700. It's so expensive for what it is. But I honestly, with this being out, I know you're thinking, oh, but it's not a sport bike. It doesn't have plastic, doesn't have 17s. Just get the Vitpillen. It's got 17s. And then it's got clip-ons. It's nice and low. You can give yourself all the back problems you want. But I think that's enough talking about these bikes. Why don't we get them out on the road and see how they compare back to back? Because you have not ridden that R7 yet, and I'm very interested to see what you have to say about it.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty, folks, we are out here on the road. I am on Svarty McSvartpants over here, and you are on the R7 up there, Whitney.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun. I hate to break into it right away, but dang, okay.
Well, alright, since we're breaking into it right away, let me know how you really feel.
First of all, when I started it, I didn't hear it, so I didn't know if it was on or not, because that's how, I don't know, just kind of choked up it is. And I'm already very uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable how? Is it like physical uncomfortable, or are you nervous, or what?
Oh no, I'm not nervous. I am physically unfreaking comfortable.
Yeah, so the R7 specifically is one of those weird motorcycles where it's super sport-ish from the waist up, and then from the waist down it's naked bike, you know? The pegs are a little bit higher, but not by much, and the handlebars are a lot lower, and they're pulled back, you know? They're not out wide like you'd want. So it's a really weird ergonomics package on the R7 over there, which as your street motorcycle, like, yeah, it fits the looks just fine, you know, and it's not that aggressive. I mean, it's not R6 aggressive or anything like that, but it's more aggressive than you really need on the street. You know, at a certain point, you're sacrificing comfort for vanity, you know.
You know, I will say on the ride out here, I was having fun on the Svartpilen, but this, I am not having fun.
Is it just down to those ergos that are, you know, causing you to not have fun, or is there something else?
I think the ergos are distracting, but it's weird. The ergos are making me, like, big sweeping corners like this are fine, but those tight ones, I'm like, okay, my back, how do I contort to, you know, do I just get real crouched in, and I don't really know what to do.
So that's one of the things that I dislike about this motorcycle, and let me know if you're feeling it as I start describing this sensation to you.
All right.
So I get on the R7 as a pretty experienced motorcycle. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but you know, I've ridden a bunch of different bikes, from R1s to Panigales and, you know, all sorts of naked bikes in between. And I find that motorcycle very confusing in the way that it's set up. So I ride it around and I look at it, right? My brain says sport bike and my wrists say sport bike, right? Because your weight is sport bikey on there.
Oh yeah.
But then you rev it out and it doesn't rev out like a sport bike. It revs out like a naked bike. And it feels really strange to me. Are you getting that at all?
I am 100% getting that. I mean, I rode an R6 for 20 minutes, so take that for what it's worth. But this already feels way different.
Yeah, I mean, The R6 comparison kind of makes itself, right? Because they're both R bikes, but it's not really trying to be an R6. It's something a little bit different. And if you're curious, we actually made a huge in-depth video about R6 versus R7. And the R7's really its own beast, and it handles these corners really well. I mean, you're not having any issues going around those corners.
No, as I warm up, you know, after about 3 minutes, I'm like, okay, no, it's handling pretty well.
Yeah.
No, that bike's a lot of fun on the twisty roads. It's so agile, and this is agile too, but like I said, I'm just kind of getting caught up on, like, my lower back is hurting. There's a lot of pressure on my wrists right now, but also I'm confused because the handling is nice. So as somebody who doesn't ever ride sport bikes, what do I think, Spite? What do I think?
So what I think about that bike is that the one place that it is the most happiest is right here on a twisty road.
Yes.
So, Whitney, twisty road, thumbs up or thumbs down for the R7?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Absolute thumbs up for the Svart here on a nice twisty road. So let's get over onto city road and see how they handle. Now for the second test on these motorcycles. We are out here in sort of higher speed city street. This is a 50-mile-an-hour zone, but there is a lot of traffic on this road here, and I gotta say, I'm loving the ergonomics on this motorcycle right here.
I'm sure you are. Although this isn't, I mean, it's not miserable. It's not terribly miserable. I mean, we're only doing 40 miles an hour, so I like the torque down low. It's got a nice little city punch.
Yeah, that is one nice thing about that motorcycle, is those parallel twins are nice and juicy in the torque department, but I mean, I was able to just, you know, I had so much torque right there that I spun the rear tire when I slapped the throttle down. So, you know, these motorcycles, these single cylinders are really great if you want a fun stoplight to stoplight motorcycle. Hopefully we'll actually get caught at a red here and we can do a little bit of a roll on here and see what's what. See what it's like weaving. But how do you feel, because now you got to use the transmission a little bit more in the city. How does that feel for you, just clicking through the gears on it?
It feels fine. I don't notice anything stellar about it right off the bat.
See, I've been using this nice juicy up and down quick shifter on here.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would like one of those.
Unfortunately, Yamaha only gives you an up quick shifter. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm not sure why they decided up only and not down. I'm not an engineer, so I can't tell you, but it is an odd choice. So now that we are getting stuck here at a little bit of a red light, are you feeling any heat from that sport bike right there? Because that is one of the main complaints that I had about my VFR when I was riding that thing around in the summertime. It got really hot under the collar.
My calves are warm. I will say that. I can feel it radiating right now, like on my boot and on my calf.
Yeah. See, I'm not getting any of that because the heat just kind of goes everywhere, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like it just gets funneled right into your muscles.
So, as a city bike, how you liking it?
Huh. You know, as a city bike, I don't know if I'd want to be this low, and I don't think I'd want to be like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I like how it handles. The clutch feel and the shifting is fine. It's nothing special.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the good through lines of this whole motorcycle, is it's nothing special.
Nothing special. And when you're spending money, you kind of want it to be special.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I think we should talk about while we're stuck here is the look down from the cockpit. This is really nice and clean. Mm-hmm. You got rid of those mirrors, which were but it's a nice clean look out of the dashboard here. How about over there for you?
Well, fancy. I got a bunch of wires. It's the first thing that catches my eye, and zip ties, and
It feels budget, doesn't it?
it does.
Now let's do a little bit of a roll here, you and I. I'm in second gear. What gear are you in?
Me too.
All right. Let's on the third honk. You ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I'm feeling a bit gutless.
Yeah, I really am surprised at how much muscle this single cylinder has. Did you go nice and wide open throttle?
No, maybe we should try it again. We got the highway.
Yeah, we've got our on-ramp right here that we
I'll
can
go wide open throttle.
test out. So, city bike, rounding it out. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the R7.
I like the torque. I like the low down power it has for city riding, but I think it goes a little bit more thumbs down because I'm not comfortable, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, I gotta say right here, solid thumbs up for this motorcycle. Instant torque, a lot of fun, and it's super lightweight. It's crazy how lightweight this bike feels. You pull up alongside you here. Let's get up into second gear. Say second gear at about 30 miles an hour. All right, on the third honk. 1, 2, 3. Wow! Oh, did you stay wide open throttle?
Yeah, I mean, the shift was a little messy, but it did, just because I ride the Svartpilen all the time, I can tell I'm kind of having to like give it more energy to get up there, where that just wants to go.
So this is crazy right now. The way that result is absolutely nuts. If you were wide open throttle when you did that, the fact that not only was I staying with you at 240 pounds, but this bike is just faster, full stop, than that is. Let's do another little fourth gear roll-on test here.
Okay.
So I'm doing fourth gear. I'm going about 60 miles an hour. I'll get into this lane over here so you can get right next to me. All right, you ready?
Yep.
On the third honk. 1, 2, 3.
That was weird. I feel like, how did you... This is our first time doing little roll-on bits. That was kind of strange. I felt like I was gunning it, and then you came up behind me.
Do you wanna try it again, just to see if we can repeat that result? Because it felt like I was slowly catching up to you there at the end. Like you got away from me a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be in this lane. I want to watch. So stay over there. You ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So you got a little bit more jump than I did out of there. You were not getting away from me, but I feel like the power came on a little bit quicker for you, and then this caught right back up. That's crazy to me that this is so punchy. I swear, guys, I was full throttle. Whitney was full throttle. We're not setting this up in any way. The Svart just pulls that hard.
I feel like my ergonomics, like the way that I'm sitting, is making me more of a concave sail than I would if I were just sitting on the Svartpilen. Like my shoulders feel kind of hunched over, and my helmet's low but not low enough. So I feel like I'm getting pummeled
that's
with air.
one kind of bummer about that motorcycle is you sit like this all the time, and so you catch a lot of breeze. Is the bike just feeling a little unstable or what?
No, the bike feels stable. I think it's mostly my body positioning that is getting knocked around. but I don't feel like I'm getting blown all over the place too much. That's definitely what's happening up top with my body.
Yeah, see, that's one thing that really surprised me about this motorcycle pulling onto the highway. When it's so super duper light like this bike is, you'd expect it, especially, like, look at the size of those flags in the distance. We have significant headwind today.
Yeah, now I'm getting blown all over.
Yeah, you'd really expect this bike to just be all over the place like this, and it is rock solid. Even as I roll on a little bit more here, I'm not feeling the wind knock this motorcycle around at all. It is rock solid on the highway, which is super surprising to me, honestly. But now let's test the passing power of both of these motorcycles. What do you say?
Okay.
Do a little fourth gear. 1, 2, 3, go! Man, Svartpilen all day, every day, man. This is such a great little bike, and it is whooping up on the R7 with that, with me on the back of this motorcycle, guys. I don't know if you realize how impressive that really is.
Okay, let's do one more right here.
Okay. All right, I'm in fourth gear. I'm going 60. You ready?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3. That was crazy, man. This thing pulled all the way up to 3 digits on the dashboard. That's insane. I was you know, at that point you're expecting something like, you know, wind resistance to slow this motorcycle down. And it feels great. It's unbelievable. Okay, Whitney.
Yes.
Highway rolling on. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the R7.
I'm leaning thumbs down.
Thumbs down. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
And for the Svart, again, I gotta go solid thumbs up here. So let's get these bikes back in the shop and start wrapping up our thoughts on these bad boys.
All right, bringing both these bikes back into the shop to wrap this video up. Give me your general thoughts on the R7.
I'm so confused. I tried not to think about it too hard. It's like, I enjoyed the power. The ergos were not my favorite. Lower back hurt. I don't know how to feel about it. I think I would get bored of it right away if I owned it.
Yeah.
And then I hop back on this and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm at home.
So we did switch for a little test going back, just seeing if in fact the Svart is faster than the R7 if we swapped riders. And I was able to get you on the roll-on, getting onto the highway.
Yes.
And then on the highway, you were faster, just all over the place.
And you can feel it too. You can feel the difference.
Yeah, so I think the R7's case is mostly for somebody who really wants a cool looking sport bike, but doesn't care so much about sport bike performance, honestly. This motorcycle is not a screamer. It's not designed to be the R6 that you can start on. It's just, that's not what it's about. Whereas this, it feels like a secret sport bike because it handles really well. It's got a lot of punch. It's really nice and light, and the ergonomics are sweet on it.
Comfortable. You can ride on that all day and not worry. I mean, 20 minutes on that and my lumbar spine is screaming, so.
And it is worth pointing out that we have some awesome features on here from the Brembo caliper on here. We've got the Magura clutch, the up and down quick shifter, traction control, disableable ABS in the back, which you do not get on this motorcycle. And yeah, it's not where this thing is meant to be, but if you wanted to, you could take it off-road. I mean, you're probably not gonna crush any gnarly single track or anything like that. But you know, it's one of these motorcycles where you can do everything, and while it doesn't excel at, you know, it doesn't really excel at being off-road, Doesn't super duper excel on the side of the tire, although it feels excellent. This rubber is a bit dubious. But just generally, the package on this motorcycle is so much more fun and engaging than this one. And the only thing you're sacrificing, in my opinion, is sound. Because when you get an exhaust on this, the CP2 sounds so good. It sounds so mean. Whereas this is just a single. So for my money, gotta be the R7 for just the absolute sport bike squid who wants this look. If you want this look, this is the only motorcycle for you. For everybody else, you gotta look at this motorcycle.
Or for the cool people.
Yeah, or the cool people.
Cool people.
So I'm assuming since you're a cool person, this is the motorcycle you want.
100%.
Yeah. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this look at sort of a secret sport bike, the thing you should probably be looking at, and the sport bike for the squid with no imagination out there. If you would like to win this motorcycle, as much as I don't love it, it is a great platform. It's a ton of fun, and we are going to be putting some mods on this that are going to wake it up.
If it was free, hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
hell
absolutely.
Hell
if
yeah.
it was
That's
free.
a free bike? Hell yeah, that's an awesome bike to have in your
So
garage.
if you want to get it for free, click the links down in the description below. Get yourself signed up to win this bike right here. And Whitney rents this thing out. So if you want to check it out, there's probably some way to find it online. So see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Wait, I tell you what, there's another Yammy New video right over here waiting for you. It's Yosemite Yam, back at it again. Upgraded from Cowboy Yam by popular demand. Tell you what, click on this video right over here. Gonna get you cowboying, hooting and hollering, having all kinds of fun, cutting up with your buddies out there watching another Yammy New video. Woo-wee!